What's up, guys? It's your boy, Austin Short, here again with Not Your Father's Sports Show, and we're bringing back a classic segment I like to call the Rapid Weekend Recap. I hope you guys enjoy this. Glad to be back, glad to be bringing you guys new content, so let's get started. Hit the theme music.
Austin and Kent, the boys are back again. Not like those kids on your television set, below show above the rest, 'cause it's time. Yeah! It's not your father's show! Woo! It's not your father's show! Yeah! It's not your father's show!
But let's start with the Rockets and the Timberwolves. It was a tightly contested 1 versus 8 seed matchup, and James Harden proved that he is an MVP caliber player with his performance Sunday night. Harden had 44 points, one shy of a playoff career high, 8 assists and 7 3-pointers to pace the Rockets to a 104-101 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. He also had a lot of help from Clint Capella, the underappreciated big man who does all the dirty work for the Rockets. He had 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks to help protect the paint for the Rockets. The Timberwolves played their best game yet against the Rockets this year, and unfortunately still came up just short. But they should be able to get Karl Anthony Towns more involved. Harden had 7 threes by himself. The rest of the team only made 3. I wouldn't expect that to happen as the series goes on, and the Timberwolves have a lot of issues to address defensively, especially in the lane. Next, we're going to talk Pacers versus Cavs in a rematch of the first round playoff series from last year, but these teams are completely different now. But one thing remains the same: Lance Stevenson versus LeBron James. No kisses were blown this time by Stevenson. Instead, he hit LeBron upside the head, got a technical foul for it, and LeBron was whining, of course, crying. I saw at least one single tear roll down his cheek. But I can report that, yeah, 1 tear. But in all honesty, I love Lance versus LeBron. It's just they genuinely do not like each other. LeBron brings the best out of Lance, and I would say the best of LeBron is yet to come in this series, but expect him to have some great moments against Lance because he tends to get the better of him in the end. But in game 1, it was all about the Pacers, and it was all about Victor Oladipo. 32 points led the way to a Pacers 98-80 victory. LeBron had another triple-double. What's new? But on the defensive side, I feel like his defensive energy rubs off on all of his teammates, and it's part of the reason why they're so poor defensively. You can't have your best player not giving full effort and expect everybody else to try and pick up the slack. That's just not how it works. You gotta lead by example, LeBron. This Game 1 loss snaps a 21-game first-round winning streak that LeBron had. His last loss was in 2012. That was Game 4 against the New York Knicks. It was quite obvious, though, that the Pacers' speed and defensive intensity was giving the Cavaliers fits. I mean, only 80 points for a team that is a pretty good offensive team. Their liability has been on defense, but 80 points is not going to cut it, and that performance was in large part due to the Pacers' intensity on the defensive side. 17 turnovers were forced by the Pacers, and they had 18 fast break points as well. That should bode well for them the rest of the series, and I expect this one to go probably 6 games. But the Cavs are going to come back, of course. I mean, it's LeBron. He's not getting... I mean, what do you really think LeBron's just going to go out in the first round? That's can't happen, right? Right? Moving on to the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Boston Celtics, a series a lot of people are figuring will possibly go 7 games thanks to the injuries the Celtics have sustained over the course of the year. And in the beginning, this was a sloppy start from both teams. A lot of turnovers. Ended up being a back and forth affair. And it was a wild end of regulation. The game was all tied up at 96 apiece. Terry Rozier with the ball, just the man you would think is going to close the game out, right? He shook Eric Bledsoe right out of his jockstrap. I mean, the garments were on the floor. Everybody was laughing. In all honesty, though, that was one of the nastiest crossovers I've ever seen. He steps back for the 3, drains it, 0.5 seconds left. Game over, right? So then the Celtics, they kind of employed that SVG wall theory where they're just all at the 3-point line because they're up by 3. So who cares if they make a 2-pointer? Well, Middleton, because of this, Chris Middleton had to be... He was way out. I mean, easily halfway between half court and the 3-point line. And he gets the ball relatively wide open. Jaylen Brown didn't want to foul him. Shoots it, and it goes in. And he got this off just in the nick of time. I mean, it was barely off the fingertips. Just cush cash, swish, we're going to overtime. In OT, the Celtics were able to prevail, hold on for the victory. It was 113-107. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton combined for 66 points. Unfortunately, they didn't really have that third guy. Malcolm Brogdon did have 16 all in the second half, but after that, there was not much help for those guys. You have to figure Jabari Parker needs to step up. He only had 2 points, and that's a guy that should be able to get a bucket for them. So look for Jabari Parker to step up the rest of the way if the Bucks want to have a chance in this series. Meanwhile, the Celtics had 5 players score over 19 points, 4 over 20. Jason Tatum with 19. You had Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris, Al Horford led the way with 24 points, and Terry Rozier, all over 20. Scoring by committee is how the Celtics are doing it now that they're without Kyrie. And if they can get 5 guys scoring almost 20 or over 20, that should bode well for them in this series. Back to the Western Conference now. We will talk Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Utah Jazz, the 4-5 matchup. And this one, the Jazz jumped out to an early lead. And it looked like all the analysts that were saying that the Jazz were going to be able to defensively put the clamps down on the Thunder, it looked like they were going to be right. But after that early lead, the Thunder battled back, and it was basically all Thunder from that point on. Paul George led the way with 36 points, including 8 3-pointers. That set an OKC franchise record for 3-pointers made in a game for playoff P. I guess that's what the kids are calling him these days. I'm not familiar with the name, but hey, if he keeps playing like this, I'll call him whatever he wants. The Thunder ended up winning 116-108. And look out for Donovan Mitchell. He had sustained a foot injury. He says he's fine, but keep an eye out for that injury because without him, they're going to have a tough time keeping up with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now onto a series that I feel nobody is really caring what's going on here, but I'll keep you up to date just in case. Talking about the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs. The Warriors were 7-10 in their last 17 regular season games coming into this first round playoff matchup, but you couldn't tell it from their performance in Game 1 on Saturday. They were led by Klay Thompson, who had 27 points, and they also got a strong performance from Kevin Durant, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. It could be a quiet postseason for the Spurs without Leonard. The Raptors notched their first Game 1 victory against the Wizards on Saturday since they defeated the 76ers in 2001. Drake was courtside wearing the Humboldt green and yellow hockey jersey in support of those involved in the tragic bus accident that happened to the local junior hockey team nearly 2 weeks ago now. He was also there to see Serge Ibaka score 23 points, grab 12 rebounds, and lead the Raptors to a 114-106 victory and take a 1-0 series lead. The 76ers stayed red hot Saturday night thanks to a scintillating performance from Rookie of the Year candidate Ben Simmons. Simmons was a rebound away from a triple-double in the series opener, and he got a lot of help from J.J. Redick and Marco Bellinelli, who combined for 53 points and helped set a playoff team record for 18 three-pointers made in the game for the 76ers. Did I mention this was all without Joel Embiid? Yikes. Miami could be in trouble. And finally, Anthony Davis came up big in Portland for the Pelicans and took home court advantage away from the Blazers in a 97-95 victory. LeBron had 35 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Rajon Rondo played maestro all night long to the tune of 17 assists, and Drew Holiday came up big defensively with a swat in the waning moments of the game to secure the victory. Portland will look to knot the series up on Tuesday. Well, that's all we have for the Rapid Weekend Recap. I'm Austin Short, signing off for Not Your 5 Sports Show. Make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any suggestions or questions or just want to say what's up. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.